Today we're going to be taking a look at this DE 51.2 volt 100 amp hour lithium iron phosphate server rack battery. This is made by a company I've never heard of called DE, and it looks like a really nice battery. So this battery is a 100 amp hour battery rated at 100 amps continuous output, has a built-in smart BMS with Bluetooth control. It also has the ability to be monitored via PC, where you can kind of get deeper into the BMS and do more troubleshooting and things like that. It also has built-in communication, so you have RS-485 and CAN, and they say it's actually compatible with 30 plus different inverters on the market. And because it has communications, you can also parallel up to 16 of these units together. They say it uses grade A repped brand cells, and they're rated at 6,000 charge and discharge cycles. Now, at the time of making this video, this battery right now is on sale for $799. So it makes it pretty square in the middle of the budget server rack market. Right now, you can get a ton of crazy good batteries for around $600 to $800. The cheapest I've seen is $600. I would say if you can get a battery below $1,000, you're still in the budget market. And this is probably one of the only batteries I've seen below $1,000 that actually comes with a good warranty. So they give you a 10-year warranty out of the box. So assuming they will honor that and everything will go smoothly with that, that is a lot of peace of mind. Now, taking a closer look at the front of the battery, we have dual positive, dual negative terminals with these protective caps. And it looks like we actually have M10 bolts instead of the standard M8, so the terminals are a little bit smaller. We have a built-in breaker switch right here. We have the main power button on and off. This is gonna be our communication. So we have inverter, battery in, battery out. It also comes with this little 3-inch LCD screen. So you get this nice metal case. This battery also comes in 2 colors, black or white. I got the white one because I think it looks really good. You get nice beefy carrying handles on the side here. And I believe this is a 3U size server rack battery, or at least that's what it looks like, because I've reviewed other 3U style batteries in the past, and this looks right around the same footprint as that. This battery also weighs 100 pounds, so pretty standard for a 100 amp hour lithium iron phosphate server rack battery. Here's a good look at the side of the unit. We have this nice label here with all the same specs that we kind of just went over. Same thing on the other side. Oh, warranty seal if broken. Yeah, we're definitely gonna open this thing up. It's pretty cool. They actually use Allen screws instead of Phillips screws, so that's pretty interesting. And that's really it. There's not a whole lot going on the front here. It's very sleek looking front panel here. You have just one logo and that's really it. So let's turn this thing on and see what the screen looks like. I wonder if we have to flip this on. Okay, you got to flip that on first and then it'll power everything up. So if you flip this off, it'll actually turn the BMS off and everything. All right, this screen is actually very nice. It's very small, but it looks very clear and easy to read. Looks like we get voltage here, wattage, watt hours. We're at 55% state of charge, so that's a perfect shipping voltage for this thing. Let's see if it's touchscreen. Oh, it is touchscreen. Nice. Oh, you can turn the brightness up. Let's go. Gives you a serial number, shows you how to connect with the app, which we're going to do in this video. And then here's how you select all the different inverters that you can communicate with. So if I zoom in really close right here, you guys can kind of see it. It really does have a lot of options. We got pretty much all the big name brands and all the big players there. And we're definitely going to test communications in this video as well to make sure this thing can communicate. That's really it in the screen. There's not much more we can see. I don't see a way to see individual cells. Pretty basic information, but there is a lot of good information right here. I do like to see that. As far as accessories you get with the battery, you do get a ton with this one. You get a bunch of different type of brackets. These brackets right here are going to be used to actually stack the batteries. So instead of having to use a full standalone server tower, you can actually mount these brackets on the battery itself, and that's going to allow you to stack the batteries one on top of the other. So essentially the server rack will be built into the structure of the batteries, and all you have to do is use these little brackets. So it makes it very easy to stack these batteries and make yourself a little server tower with them. You get a couple of different communication cables, a specific battery parallel cable, inverter to battery cable. You get a nice hefty user manual. You get some short little wires here, which I assume these are going to be just to make the parallel connection if you want to stack the batteries, but no main power cables. Get a ground wire. This kind of goes over the after sales support that you're going to get with the battery. So it's going to talk more about, give you some more information about the warranty. Looks like you get some different little RJ45 connector. Not really sure what these are for. They actually give you ring terminals. So although it doesn't have main power cables, it gives you the terminals. So if you have some wire, you can at least make them. This is going to be all the hardware to mount your brackets on the side of it, as well as our battery terminals. And that's really it. You do get a pretty good comprehensive amount of accessories with this battery. Here's what the app looks like in order to connect to the battery. All right, I was able to get the battery to connect to their app. Now, I will say this off the bat, their app has kind of a lot of stuff going on. So this is the basic battery menu. I'm going to show you guys this first. So the app's going to try to make you create an account and log in. However, if you put it in guest mode, you can still access all the battery functions. It's going to want you to connect to your house's Wi-Fi, so be prepared for that. As you guys can see, we get state of charge. You can turn on and off charging and discharging. Gives you all the same information you get on the screen right here. Right here is what I like to see, all the individual cell voltages. So that makes it very easy to do any sort of troubleshooting. And then down here, you're going to get all your temperature sensor readings as well. You can also go in and change all your protocol just like we can in the screen. And more of the same thing, you can change the brightness of the screen on the battery. So the app function does appear to work just fine. However, the app itself, you first download it, there's kind of a lot of stuff going on. You have to really pay attention to what you click because it's gonna have a ton of extra like widgets and stuff like that. So I don't really like that. I wish they would streamline the app more toward the battery versus it seems like the app is built for a ton of other devices and features that you're probably not going to use if you're just using this battery. So if we're on the battery screen here, if I exit out of here, you guys can see we have like all this extra stuff. And that's it. There's a lot of other stuff going on here besides just monitoring the batteries. Like I said, if you put it in guest mode, add the device, it seems to work just fine. We're gonna run a capacity test on this battery, then we're gonna do a high amp discharge test to see what this thing can actually support. Then we're actually gonna open the battery up and take a look at it, try to see the BMS, the cells, and just see what the build quality looks like and what we're actually getting for $800. So I'm gonna go and get this thing connected to a battery charger so we can start the capacity test. I think the only thing weird about this battery that I wanna mention is the fact that the terminals are M10s. And just to give you a size comparison, this is an M10 bolt, this is an M8 bolt. This is what most batteries are using today in the market, which should not be a problem, but if you try to put really big cables on this, you may have an issue only because this is just a standard 5/16 2 gauge, and it fits on there all right, but there's just not a whole lot of contact area. I would like to see these a little bit bigger, especially because the battery is rated at 100 amps. And these terminal styles are actually pretty common, so if you kind of look what that one looks like, and then take a look at the one on the watt cycle server rack battery, they're the same, but you get an M8 bolt. So I think it'd be very easy if they wanted to add the M8 terminals. I'm gonna connect a battery charger to get this thing topped up, and we're putting about 930 watts into the battery, 17.5 amps, and it's actually counting how many watt hours we're putting in the battery, so that's pretty neat. I have our DE server rack battery fully recharged. Now we're gonna conduct the capacity test. We have it connected to the SunGold Power 5,000 watt single phase pure sine wave inverter. That's gonna act as the load, and we're gonna run a 0.2C discharge. So I'm just gonna plug a battery charger into this, and it's gonna pull 20 amps out of the battery. In order to record everything, we have this current shunt meter all reset, ready to go. So our final amp hour number is going to be displayed right here. And there we go, we're running about 21 amps. Should take about 5 hours to complete the test. Once it's done, we're gonna see what we get. Just finished the capacity test on our DE server rack battery, and unfortunately, I was only able to get 98.5 amp hours. So I'm gonna recharge it again, try to run the test again just to verify my findings, but it's not looking good. We're missing 1.5 amp hours, so what's up with that? We just finished the second capacity test on our DE server rack batteries. We got 99.5 amp hours, so still not 100. But what I noticed when I connected it to the app, it may be hard to see, but the cells are at 2.7 volts per cell. The issue may be that the BMS may actually be set a little bit conservative, and it's not actually gonna let the battery get all the way down to 0. So I do believe if we could discharge this thing all the way down to 2.5 volts per cell, which is still perfectly safe for lithium iron phosphate chemistry, we may actually get the full 100 amp hours. But unfortunately, in this kind of testing that I'm doing, it's shutting off a little bit premature, maybe to extend battery life, who knows? And we're only able to get about 99.5. Now, whether that is acceptable or not is really gonna be up to you guys, the people who are gonna be spending the money on this. For an $800 server rack battery, I would probably not care, but some people do need these to be exactly rated, which I completely understand. Now we have our DE battery set on our EG4 12,000 XP power cart. We're gonna get it connected to this inverter so we can do some load testing. And I'm also gonna get communications working just to make sure that all functions correctly. And I also wanna see what the process is on actually getting it to work together. So communications are pretty straightforward. I already have a cable going to the inverter that's for this inverter. So all we got to do is come over here, and there's a port that says inverter. I'm actually going to turn the battery on as well. Plug that guy in there. Now this next part's going to be kind of tricky. So I have my main inverter leads here. The problem with these leads is these are 2-aught gauge leads with massive copper lugs. So now when we go to put these on, I don't think these are even going to fit. So if you look where the terminal's sitting, it's almost completely on the outside of the actual terminal itself. Now it is making contact, so I am just gonna connect it and run with it. So we do have a connection, and I would say it's okay, but yeah, we have a good amount of the copper lug not even being used just because we're not making good contact. And put our covers on. Look at that, it actually looks really nice once you have it all connected up. We have the battery connected. We did go ahead and turn the inverter on, and all I had to do to get communication working is make sure the battery was set to pylon, which it was. In the EG4 software, select lithium battery and type 2. Type 2 is gonna put the inverter in pylon mode, and as soon as I did that, everything's working 100% just like it should. Zero issues, zero fuss, literally as easy as it gets. So as you guys can see, we have our battery percentage state of charge being displayed right there. And then here we are on the EG4 monitoring app. If you go to our battery information right here, it's displaying our state of charge at 100%. BMS discharging is set to 100 amps. And BMS charge limit right now is 0 because the battery is fully charged. So now that I know everything is working, I'm gonna go ahead and plug in an EV charger to this setup, and we're gonna pull 100 amps out of the battery, and we're just gonna let it sit and run at 100 amps just to see what the battery does, make sure it doesn't cut off, make sure nothing gets hot, and kind of try to judge the overall performance of the battery. All right, I got everything connected. We have the EV charger set to 20 amps, which would give us around 5 kilowatts. And there we go, we're right at 5,000 watts out of the battery. We're showing 5,100 watts, 100.7 amps. I'm just gonna let this thing run and just kind of see what happens. It's pretty cool that we're able to charge a full-size EV on one server rack battery. Definitely not recommended. I would definitely recommend you have a bank of these things to do this, but could you do it in a pinch? Absolutely. Well, this thing's been chugging along now for about 20 minutes. We're down to 62% state of charge. We've had no issues. The vehicle has not stopped charging. The inverter has not complained, and the battery has not shut down or done anything weird. Now, some of y'all might be curious about these terminals running them at 100 amps because they're a little bit small. So I went ahead and pulled the thermal camera out. And the hottest part of the terminal is 94 degrees. So definitely not anywhere near danger temperatures. Now, taking a good look at the battery with this thing, what we can see is the front of the battery is a little bit warm, and then if you look to the right, it's a little bit warm as well. So I think the BMS is actually gonna maybe sit on that side, if I had to guess, but we're gonna see that when we do the teardown. But very solid unit. It's always good to see that if they rate it for 100 amps. You gotta be able to pull 100 amps out of it, even though if you have a bunch of these in parallel, you're probably never gonna push it that hard. All right, I'm gonna shut all this down so we can tear this thing down and see what's inside. Okay, they're 2.5 millimeter Allen heads. All right, here we go. First look. Oh, I did miss one because there's a warranty void sticker. Sorry, warranty. Here's kind of a first overall look at this thing. The BMS looks very interesting. I haven't seen that. This BMS looks kind of similar to the one that was in the SunGold Power server rack battery, and I remember that because I had a little coin cell right there. I doubt it's the same exact one, but it does look very similar. I might have to go check out my older video and compare and contrast these two BMSs. There's an inductor right there. And if you look closely, it's actually two PCB boards stacked on top of another. So you have this top board, and then you have the larger board on the bottom. There's this nice insulated cover that protects the cells. All our connections are made up here in this little box. Lots of room up front. We have nice wiring. It's all nicely sheathed. It looks like our balance harnesses are kind of zip tied up right here, and they also are loomed very nicely out of the way. And then all these wires right here are all for the communications, and they also run up in their own loomed harness. And they actually zip tie it up against the case. The case has these little provisions right here, so they throw a zip tie on there, and it's gonna keep everything nice and secure. So that all looks really good. Let's pull this off. So very good close look up of everything. These bus bars appear to be pretty nice. We have a full metal frame around all the batteries that are internal to the actual chassis, so that's providing all our compression. We also have these large bars up here. So the battery is very solidly mounted in the chassis itself. We have a large copper bus bar here that's gonna make our 8S and 8S connections, and very nice humped bus bars connecting all the cells together. Here's our balance harness being ran up in the middle, also nicely zip tied up out the way. All the connections appear to be bolted to the bus bars. Here's kind of a closer look at the connection points right here. So we have our main positive wires come straight out of the battery into this double pole breaker. So each lead has its own slot to sit in, and then it's gonna come out and connect to the main positive bus bar. And then for our negative connection, we have two wires here that run to the BMS, come from the BMS, and run to our negative connections. There's kind of another shot of the BMS. Looks pretty neat. Kind of a close-up of all the cells assembled with the frame. And if you look back here, you see all this extra metal there. You can kind of see it there. That's what's holding all the cells together, obviously with these top straps. And then you can see some more of it here. I'm gonna try to see if I can't maybe peel one of these little plastic covers up so we can take a look at the QR codes, but may not be possible to get to them without destroying this thing. I was able to access one of the QR codes, and I went ahead and decoded it. And just like they claim that the battery has, it does in fact have the Rept brand battery cells. So that all matches up really nicely. They're from August of 2025. They're not super old. Definitely a different design from what we've seen in the past. Normally the BMS is always shoved in the front. It is kind of good that they put it to the side because there's gonna be a lot of room for this thing to cool. And even as you guys saw on the thermal camera, this was putting out a little bit of heat at full load. So there's gonna be tons of room in here just to keep everything nice and cool. And they did go the extra mile in trying to wire management as best as they could. And I think they did pretty good. That's gonna wrap up testing the DE server rack battery. Overall, I do like this battery a lot, but there's a couple things I wanna talk about. $799, I still think it's a pretty good value, but there's also a lot of other batteries on the market that have that same exact price. So you're really gonna have to shop around, compare the features, and see what you really like, and try to make your decision like that. It's punching up pretty high, especially compared to some of the more expensive batteries that we've torn down on the channel. And in my opinion, you really do get a lot for your money. And I do think this thing would last a very long time. And not only that, you kind of get all the features that you're gonna want out of a modern server rack battery with all the communication features, an advanced BMS with Bluetooth, built-in breaker switch, and BMS power switch as well, so that's pretty nice. Terminals are too small. They definitely need to make these a little bit larger, but that's kind of an easy thing they could very easily fix. So I'm hoping the next iteration of batteries, they do fix that. Put some bigger terminals in here, minimum M8 terminals, like kind of like what all the other batteries are already using. And the other thing I want to touch on is the capacity. We were not able to get the full 100 amp hours out of this battery. Now, I actually reached out to DE and I said, hey, what's up with that? I ran the test consecutive times. I showed them my test setup, showed them how accurate the test setup I was running was, just to rule out that it wasn't my equipment going wrong. And what they told me essentially is their BMS is calibrated very conservatively to give the most battery life that they can get out of this thing as far as cycles. So according to them, and this is directly from the email that they sent me, the protection threshold kicks in at 2.7 volts per cell. So you're not even really allowed to drain this thing all the way to 2.5 volts. And according to them, that's where the last 3 to 5% of the charge is, and that's why you can't actually use it. And the reason they do that is because they want to extend the life you can get out of the battery. Now, personally, I do that anyways with all my batteries. I would never 0 to 100 to 0 to 100 cycle my packs, and they never get cycled like that anyways when I'm running them. So I can understand why they're trying to do that, but also at the same time, some people are not going to like the fact that you're charging for a 100 amp hour battery and you're not able to get 100 amp hours out of it. Now, personally for me, since this is more of a budget battery, that's not going to affect my buying decision. I would still go out and buy this thing, even if I can't get the full 100 amp hours, as long as I'm getting very, very close to that. And if the reason is because it's more conservatively set up, that's totally okay with me. But as far as everything else, it's as advertised. They even told us what kind of cells they use, and we were able to verify that. So I'm definitely going to put it in service with the rest of my batteries. And coming up in a future video, I really need to build me a server rack to hold all my server rack batteries. So if that's something you're interested in, make sure you guys subscribe. But anyways, that's going to do it for this video, guys. Leave a comment, leave your thoughts in the comment section. I will be there answering as many comments as I can, and I would love to hear you guys' thoughts on this DE server rack battery. As always, thank y'all so much for watching, and I'll see y'all in the next video.